Morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. I'm trying out a new camera app. I had some trouble with the one that comes with this Pixel 3 XL, so give me a little slack here as I learn this new camera app. Anyway, this is a couple of used Hoosier A7 tires I got from a guy on the East Coast. They cost $100 to ship across the country. Ouch. And I'm going to put them on the front of my Z06, which now has some BF Goodrich Rival S tires on there, which are worn out, which lasted me crazy 3 seasons of racing, actually, and I've won 3 jackets. So, wow. Those are some good tires. But anyway, I'm going into a different class for 2019, and this new class will allow slicks. So I have used Hoosier A6 and A7 tires before, and what I'm going to do actually is my Rival S tires on the back of this car are still really good. They're newer than the front ones. They only have about 1 season of use on them. So I'm going to keep them on the back. I think they'll be grippy enough, and I will put the slicks on the front. I love a car that's got good turn in. If it's a little tail happy, tail loose, I don't care. I can drive the car that way, rather than having it the other way around, where the front is pushy. So anyway, I've got to jack up this car and get those 2 front rims off and go to the tire shop and have them put those on there. Okay? Well, here's what we have. Those are the 2 fronts, and they're, in spite of having 3 seasons of racing on them, they're not as bad as what I thought. I thought maybe I had actually corded them. This one's a little worse than the other one. This is the outside edge. So I'm going to have pretty crappy turn in and corner grip with that kind of an outside edge. I wish this side was the outside edge. These tires have been flipped, by the way. But I think I flipped them like a little bit too early. Anyway, I'm going to put them back on and run them on Sunday. Here's my reasoning. I don't know what the competition's going to be in 2019 in SSP. Now, obviously, these are the tires to have in SSP, A7 Hoosiers. These are not too bad. I measured them, by the way. Let me show you. This is a gauge to measure tread depth, and let's see, here's one right here. That is over 3. Sorry, I got my fat thumb in the way. There. It's over 3. Really? Right there. Really, it's full depth right there. When these come out of the tire mold, they're 4/32 deep. I think. Oh, I should probably double check that. I know the A6s were 4/32. The A7s, I don't know whether they went a little more depth or not. But these are pretty much good tires. Sorry about the focus there. New camera app. Anyway, I'm going to hang on to these for later in the season. Maybe the 2nd, 3rd, 4th event or something. I'll put them on there. I'm going to run with those for the weekend. If it's wet, I've still got some water channeling capability on there. The backs are fine. The fronts Yeah, they're probably at like 30-40% water channeling capability. This is, to avoid hydroplaning on the course. But that's it. I'm just going to clean these rims up, wash them up inside, outside, and I'll put these in my garage for later in the season. Okay? So I'll add a little bit more if I see anything else that I need to tell you. Okay, so I'm going to use those tires that are on those rims on Sunday. So since I don't have anything else to show you tire-wise, I thought I would add a little bit to this video on my prep for a race day. So I have a checklist, and let's take a look at it. I hope this can show up all right. Let me tip it a little bit. Okay, so a week or even a month before, make sure that I have the right tires and rims and everything's ready to go. Thursday or Friday before the race weekend. Usually the races are on Sunday. Occasionally it could be on a Saturday. So I'm going to mount up whatever I've chosen. Get some race gas if I need some race gas, because I blend up to get a 93 octane rating. This car is tuned for 93, and the pump here in California you only get 91. This race gas is unleaded race gas. Some spacers that I use with these CCW rims. I have to learn the TPMS if I've changed the tires around from street to track and track to street. Every time you have to learn the TPMS. Check the fluids. Let me show you the fluids, the air filter, clutch flush, and put my numbers on. So let's take a look at that. So right there I'm flashing my light on the power steering fluid, the coolant, which you check by looking over here at that. I blacked out because you couldn't really read it before, so I darkened it up so I can check my coolant level. Windshield washer fluid, I don't usually run any because that adds weight to the car. Brake fluid, you never add any, but you check the level. So I'm shining a light from the back, the level's good. And clutch right here. Now this I do, if it looks dirty at all, and let's take it off and have a look at it. I will suction out whatever's in this reservoir and freshen it up with new fluid. I'm going to shine my light down on there. There's a little bit of, I don't know what that is on the surface. Noticed that, but I never bothered with it much. I'm going to get a towel and get that little, whatever that is, off the surface, and then see the color. It looks pretty good from what I can see, but let's do that. I stuck a paper towel in there, right there, and I'm going to change it because the way I decide whether to change it or not is if I can see the bottom of this reservoir. If I can't see the bottom, then it means it's gotten a little dark, a little cloudy, and I'll change it out. So let's change it. So what I do is I take a suction and I suck out everything in there. It's not that much really. And then I'll add fresh fluid. Now this is an open container, and I know there's people who are going to say throw it out once you've opened the container. I do not agree with that. I seal it up very tight, and I'll use it up over a period of 2 or 3 months, basically. So let's suction. So there you can see that's empty now, and I'm going to add up fresh fluid. I got 2 marks. Again, I made my own. I marked those with a white paint because you can't really see black on black. So there, now you can see to the bottom, so I'm happy with that. and most of that little, whatever that surface residue is, I don't know, maybe it's just dust. Doesn't really look like much of anything, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I think you can see the bottom. There you can see a little bit of the color of the brake fluid. The way it's constructed, you can only see a little bit of it. I think that's probably an anti-splashing thing. I'm also going to suction out the reservoir of the power steering fluid and add some fresh stuff. This is what I use, D4ATF, and same idea. Basically, I'm changing a little bit of it at a time because it's really easy to do it this way. Yeah, you can see that I've sucked that out as much as I can. Then I'm going to fill it up. There's a line inside where I fill it to. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not. You might be able to see that it says full cold at the bottom mark, and then there's another mark at the top. We use that bottom mark now because it's cold. One other thing I want to show you. See that blue? It's right in the center of your screen there, that blue. That's the air filter, and I can see more of it than what I can show you, but I can see about, maybe 20-25% of it to see if it's dirty or not. And that, what I'm looking at, would be the dirty side of it, so that looks pretty good. You don't have to take this whole thing apart to check it. You can just check it with an inspection mirror. So basically everything that has a cap on it plus that air filter, and that takes care of under the hood. Next thing is put my numbers on. I use static cling, so I'm going to clean off the area there. I'm going to lay them down on with this is like a little soapy water basically. Hold on a second. So there. I got some old SSP class letters from my blue Z06 and a few sponsors there. So there's one side done. Do the other side. So okay, got the numbers on now. The trunk. All that stuff has to be in the trunk. Let's take a look. Helmet, extra air. I've got to fill up all the air in the tires and in that tank. Some tools and stuff, number stuff, extra oil, probably throw in my extra brake fluid, shoes I use. This is not focusing very well. Yeah, driver stuff, helmet, gloves, shoes, glasses, helmet liner, and then food, money wallet, all that stuff.